Hello friends, how are you all? In today's video, we are going to discuss current affairs for the month of August. Okay, so if you like the video, hit the like button and share it with your friends, and also comment what do you like about the video, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel Vidya Guru. So without any delay, let's start. First of all, let's talk about World Mosquito Day, which is celebrated on 20th August. This day is celebrated on the birthday of Dr. Sir Ronald Ross. Dr. Sir Ronald Ross is a British scientist who discovered that the transmission of malaria disease is not the air. The transmission medium is not the air, but it is transmitted by female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, so he discovered this in 1897. For this discovery, he got Nobel Prize in 1902. Okay, he got Nobel Prize for this discovery. Also, he is the first British Nobel laureate. Okay, so he got Nobel for this discovery. Okay, first of all, let me explain you why malaria is called malaria. See, malaria word is a combination of two words, which is mal and area, where mal stands for bad, something bad, and area is means related to air. Okay, so it was believed earlier that malaria is a disease which is transmitted by air, but Dr. Sir Ronald Ross discovered that it is not transmitted by air, but it is transmitted by a mosquito. So for that discovery, he got Nobel also, and 20th August is celebrated as World Mosquito Day. Let's move on to the next question. Indian Akshay Urja Divas, which is also celebrated on 20th August. Indian Akshay Urja Day. It was started in 2004 and it is celebrated to acknowledge renewable energy resources. See, if we use non-renewable energy resources for a very long time, it is obvious that one day these resources will vanish, and for that we will not be able to have sustainable development. Okay, so to celebrate this, we celebrate Indian Akshay Urja Day, and also we acknowledge our efforts till the day that are made for renewable energy resources. For example, we use dam energy, which is water energy, we use wind energy, we use solar energy. So all these efforts of our are celebrated on 20th August, which is Indian Akshay Urja Day. On the same day, another day is celebrated, which is called Sadbhavna Divas. Okay, it is celebrated on the birthday of our ex-PM Rajiv Gandhi ji. He was the youngest PM of India who became PM at the age of 40. Okay, and another point to be noted here is that he became our 7th PM. Okay, he was the 7th PM of India. So if he was the 7th, then you must know that who were the previous 6 PMs of India. So let's talk about them. First PM of India was Dr. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Second was Gulzari Lal Nanda. Third was Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. Fourth was, who was also first women PM of India, she was Srimati Indira Gandhi ji. Okay. After that, Morarji Desai became PM, who was also the oldest PM of India, who became PM at the age of 81. He was the oldest PM of India. After that, 6th PM was Chaudhary Charan Singh, and then came Rajiv Gandhi, who became the 7th PM of India. Okay, so these 6 were their PM before Rajiv Gandhi. Let's move on to the next question. National Strategy for Financial Education has been released, which is released for the session 2025. This strategy is valid for 2025. In this strategy, this is released by RBI first of all, and this is prepared by NCFE in consultation with RBI, SEBI, IRDAI and PFRDA. See, these 4 organizations have made up this National Center for Financial Education, NCFE, who prepared this and National Strategy for Financial Education. See, there is an important point to be noted here, that this report, this strategy is released by RBI, but it is prepared by NCFE. So if question comes who released the report, you would take the RBI. While if it is asked that who prepared the report, you must take NCFE, which is a company made by these four organizations. Okay, so this report, or say this strategy, is not the first one. It was also released in 2013, and now it is the second one, in which we will emphasize on a 5C approach. These 5C stands for content, capacity, community, communication, and collaboration. On these 5 points we will emphasize, okay, in this strategy. See, if these four organizations are discussed, let's revise their headquarters and who are their head. First of all, let's talk about RBI. RBI has its headquarters in Mumbai, while its governor is Shaktikant Das. SEBI has its headquarters in Mumbai, while its chairman is Ajay Tyagi. See, there is a point to be noted that RBI has a governor who is heading the organization, while SEBI has a chairman. See, the word governor is designated only for the RBI's head. Okay, this is an important point, and it comes in exams. Okay, so while SEBI's head is called chairman, no other organization's head is called governor other than RBI. Okay, same is for IRDAI. It has its headquarter in Hyderabad, while its chairman is Subhash C. Kuntia. PFIDA has its headquarter in New Delhi, while its chairman is Supratim Bandyopadhyay. Let's move on to the next question. New Election Commissioner of India has been chosen. 1984 batch IAS Rajiv Kumar replaces Ashok Lavasa as Election Commissioner of India. See, recently IAS Rajiv Kumar has replaced Ashok Lavasa as Election Commissioner. IAS Rajiv Kumar is a retired IAS officer from 1984 batch Jharkhand cadre. Okay, he replaced Ashok Lavasa, and Ashok Lavasa is now joining ADB, Asian Development Bank, as a vice president. Okay, so if talk has come about election commissioner, so let's talk about the chief election commissioner also. See, India has 3 election commissioners designated according to our constitution, and among these 3, one is called chief election commissioner. Okay, one is designated as chief election commissioner, who is currently is Shri Sunil Arora. Okay, our current CEC is Shri Sunil Arora. Another question from this comes in exam is, who was our first CEC, first chief election commissioner, and he was Sukumar Sen. The term of an election commissioner is 6 years, while we have total 3 election commissioners. Okay, the article 324 in our constitution talks about elections in India, which comes under part 15. See, you know, article 324 to 329 are designated to these elections. Okay, these articles talks about elections in India, so which comes under part 15. This is also an important point to be noted here, so you must remember this. Okay, it also comes in exams. Let's talk about Asian Development Bank here. Asian Development Bank is a bank that is similar to World Bank, which was constituted after 1945. So this bank was established in 1966 and it has its headquarters in Manila, which is the capital of Philippines. The current president of Asian Development Bank is Masatsugu Asakawa, and current vice president is going to be our Ashok Lavasa. And another point here is that India is among those 31 founding members of ADB that founded the Asian Development Bank. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 and its report has been released, which was conducted between 4th January to 31st January 2020. It is world's largest cleanliness survey for urban areas. Okay, and it is the 5th edition of the survey, and before this 4 more editions were there. 4 more surveys were conducted, and in this survey, Indore ranked first in the survey. So Indore became the most clean city among these urban areas. Okay, and it has ranked first for the fourth consecutive year. Imagine, among the 5 editions of the survey, Indore has secured rank 1 for the fourth time consecutively. Imagine if Indore is ranking 4 times rank 1 among the 5 editions, then there would be one city also who ranked 1. Okay, so it is Mysuru. Mysuru ranked the rank 1 in the first edition of the survey. Okay, and the consecutive 4 coming years, for the 4 consecutive years, it was Indore who ranked first. So if we talk about the best city, let's talk about the worst city who was at the bottom of the ranking. It was Patna who scored worst and ranked bottom among 47 cities of the survey. Okay, if we are talking about this survey, let's see who released this survey. This survey is released by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And let's talk about Harit Path. Harit Path app is an app that is launched by NHAI, which will be used to monitor plantation along the national highways. Okay, see, it is the responsibility of government that when they are using some space for building highways, then it must maintain the greenery of that part also. Imagine if they are building road by acquiring a land which is allotted for farming or say wildlife, then if they are using that land, then uh, they must maintain the greenery also. So this app will help them to monitor whether they have enough greenery along the national highways or not. This app is launched by NHAI. Okay, and NHAI comes under Ministry of Road Transport and Highways of India. The Minister of Road Transport and Highways is Nitin Gadkari. Now let's move on to the next question. 21st August, International Day of Remembrance of and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism. See, 21st August is celebrated as International Day of Remembrance of and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism. Those people who are victim of terrorism are are remembered on this day, and a tribute is given to those people. In last few decades, how much terrorism has increased. Okay, so 21st August has been dedicated to the to those victims. Okay, 23rd August. This day is dedicated to the International Day of Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition. In America, it was prevalent that slaves were traded, and a huge campaign was 23rd August. This day is celebrated as International Day of Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition. In America and European countries, it was prevalent that slaves were traded. Mostly they were from Africa, and many were from India also, and other South Asian countries. So this day is dedicated to the International Day of Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition. In 1800, this was abolished, but after many years, it was prevalent there, but it was illegal after 1800. Okay, so this day is celebrated as International Day of Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition. Now let's talk about 26th August, which is Women's Equality Day. 26th August is celebrated as Women's Equality Day. Let's talk about the Dragonfly Festival. The Dragonfly Festival is going to be hosted in India, and this festival is first ever Dragonfly Festival in Kerala. This festival is gonna take place in Kerala. Its local name is Thambi Mahotsavam. Okay, Thambi Mahotsavam. It is the first ever Dragonfly Festival in Kerala. And another point here important, which is the mascot of the festival, which is Panthalu. Panthalu. Okay, this festival is going to be organized by WWF India and some other organizations also. Okay, WWF is World Wildlife Fund, which was founded in 1961. It has its headquarters in Gland, Switzerland. Okay, the main objective of this organization is to preserve and conserve the wildlife around the world. Okay, let's move on to the next question. World Solar Technology Summit. This summit is going to be held on 8 September 2020. This summit is a first such summit and it is going to be organized by International Solar Alliance, and PM Modi ji will deliver the inauguration speech. Okay, it is going to be held on a virtual platform, okay, because of COVID-19 obviously, and International Solar Alliance is organizing this summit. International Solar Alliance is an important point here, so let's talk about this also. International Solar Alliance, it was launched was its launch was announced by PM Modi ji and former French President Francois Hollande. Remember, on the at the 21st session of UN, which was held in Paris, okay, which is the capital of France, it was announced that a solar alliance, International Solar Alliance, is in need, which was announced by PM Modi ji. Okay, so this because of this it becomes important. Tri-Food Project. Tri-Food Project is a project by TriFed. See, these days this Tri-Food Project is in news and students are confused between Tri-Food and TriFed. So let me clear that Tri-Food is a project which is being launched by TriFed, and TriFed stands for the Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India. Okay, so this is the federation who has launched Tri-Food Project. This federation was established in 1987 and it is an initiative of Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Our current Union Tribal Affairs Minister is Arjun Munda. Okay, so and another point here is that who is the chairman of TriFed? It can also come in your exam. Okay, so the chairman of TriFed is Ramesh Chand Meena. Now let's talk about the Abraham Accord. What is Abraham Accord? It is actually a treaty, or you may say peace agreement, between Israel and UAE. You know, Israel is a Judaism country, a country that follows Judaism, and it is located among the Islamic countries around it. Okay, all the countries, all the neighbors of this country, Israel, are Islamic and they do not support the existence of this particular country, Israel's. Okay, so all the Islamic countries are against Israel and do not accept its existence, even its existence. Okay, so whenever any agreement or a peace treaty comes in news, it becomes important from the exams point of view. Okay, so this is also an important. Israel has a peace treaty with UAE. Okay, let's talk about the Abraham. In the honor of Abraham, the patriarch of three major Abrahamic religions, this accord has been named. Okay, three Abrahamic religions, which are Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. These three religions are Abrahamic. Okay, these religions are called Abrahamic religions. See, I told you that Islamic countries around Israel do not accept its existence, even its existence. So, and many wars has been fought between them. Okay, against Israel. So, this comes important when they do a peace treaty with it. Okay, and UAE is facing criticism also from the other Islamic countries. See, when they made a union against Israel and decided to not acknowledge its existence, then if a country comes out of that agreement and do a peace treaty with Israel, then it comes a kind of deception to them. So that is why they are criticizing UAE's step. Now UAE will have diplomatic and business relations with Israel, and it is not the first country that has peace agreement with it. Okay, earlier Egypt also had a peace treaty with Israel that was held in 1979. In 1994, Jordan has a peace treaty with Israel, and now it is UAE. It is the third Islamic country that has a tied or say has a treaty with Israel. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Trilateral supply chain network. A trilateral supply chain network has been decided to develop by India, Australia, and Japan. These three countries have joined hands to develop a network to provide effective and efficient supply of the products that are now comes from China. To counter dependency for supply on China, this network is being developed. It is a Japanese initiative. Japan initiated this and asked India and Australia to join this, and they have agreed on this. Another meeting going to be held in upcoming weeks to finalize the structure of this network, of this chain. Okay, and this is happening because of COVID-19. See, the entire year for this 2020 we have faced and suffered the COVID-19 because of the COVID-19. So to counter dependency of supply from China, we are India, Australia, and Japan are working on this network. As India, Australia, and Japan has been discussed, let's talk about their capital, currency, and PM of the countries. India's capital is New Delhi. Its currency is Indian rupee, which has code INR, and its current PM is Shri Narendra Modi. Japan has its capital Tokyo, and its currency is yen. Its code is JPY. Okay, and its PM is Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe. Australia has its capital in Canberra, and its currency is Australian dollar. Okay, Australian dollar, which has code AUD. And its PM is Scott Morrison. Let's move on to the next question. Turkey discovered a huge natural gas reserve. See, a huge natural gas reserve has been discovered by Turkey at Black Sea. Okay, in Black Sea it is found, and it is a 320 billion cubic meter reserve. See, after this discovery, all the Islamic countries that are in support of Turkey are celebrating this discovery and congratulating Turkey for this discovery. But you must know how big this reserve is. This is a 320 billion cubic meter reserve, which is not enough big as you must say, because India already has a reserve of 1339 billion cubic meter. So if India has already has this much big reserve, and India has, the economy of India, so it is not that much big discovery, but still it is also, I mean, whatever is free, it is good. Okay, so Turkey is now enjoying this discovery, and let's hope for the best what Turkey does with it. And Turkey is in news with another topic, which is Hagia Sophia. Turkey recently turned a church into a mosque. This church is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is turned into a mosque now, which was for many years was a museum also, but now it is a mosque. And its capital is Ankara. Its president is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and its currency is Turkish lira. So this is all for today. Thank you all. If you like the video, hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also comment what do you liked about the video, and do not forget to subscribe the channel. We will come with more videos of current affairs that are important for your exam. So till then, bye bye, take care, thank you.